I built this planter box for the front of my door, and I'm gonna take it to the next level. I'm just gonna sand the whole thing, all the front facing surfaces, and I'm gonna stain it with the carbon gray stain and use some teak oil to protect it. That's what I did on the inside of the countertops, and I did epoxy on them, but I'm not gonna do epoxy on this. I'm just gonna leave it the natural wood, and every year I'll come back and add some more teak oil or find some other good wood sealers after that, but the teak oil makes it look great. So I'm gonna start sanding it. I'm gonna start with the belt sander here. It's got 18-inch pads on it, the 3-inch by 18-inch. So right now I'm gonna start with an 80 grit and just hit it all. I have my little orbital sander here. I have some 220, but I also have the 80 grit for the orbitals if I need it. So I got this planter sanded on the faces here. It's sanded with 80 grit on all the faces and the sides. I was gonna do some more sanding with the 120 grit pads, but I'm good and done with the sanding on this. Okay, so I sanded this a little bit earlier today, and now I'm going to stain it. Well, this is not what I'm gonna use. Oh yeah, here it is. So I'm gonna stain it with this carbon gray wood stain from Varathane. I got this at Home Depot. It's the same stain I used on my countertops, and I really like it, so I figure we can have the dark wood vibe out here too. So you want to rub it on, rub it really good into the wood, and then you want to wipe it off. All right, so we're all stained. Now I'm gonna come and hit this with some teak oil, but I'm gonna let it dry. I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow. And you know, I was kind of just trying to go fast through this. It could have been a little cleaner, so if you really want to not get stain all over your driveway, you want to put a drop cloth underneath where you're working, but I'll end up acid washing this driveway anyway. So right now I just kind of was pretty messy. You'll see the lines when I pull this thing up. All right, so I put a layer of teak oil, coated this thing in teak oil, and you can see the top looks really cool now. Looks really nice. And if I switch this around so the sun is hitting the other side, you'll be able to see it. So here it is. It's got a cool look to it. Looks like old distressed wood. Use a charcoal gray stain along with some teak oil to finish it off. I had sanded it at 80 grit. But right here is kind of a little tabletop that's going to be on my front porch. So I'm actually probably going to sand this top down to like 220 and make it really smooth, so we can kind of rest our drinks there and stuff when we're sitting on the front porch. But I'm going to be installing this right in between those two posts, and I'll probably actually replace those two posts with some new wood. And then I'll put the sprinkler system, bubbler system, which will pop up out of here, and it'll have 4 bubblers in each of these beds, so we can adjust them and separate plants if we need to and water a little differently. A couple more years, this is going to be a oasis. Next thing is I got to get some truckloads of wood chips to cover up all the bare dirt. So I think along here I can actually put another row of trees right by the driveway and some stepping stones this way. So then in 5 years these will all grow up on both sides, and if I trim them in properly, I'll have like a canopy to walk under to walk to my house. So that'll be pretty interesting. We'll see if I'm gonna do that. I probably will. And the pool noodles are kind of not really working out like I thought, so I may just pull them up. They're kind of just too bulky. So I'll probably just remember where my pipe is.